My name is Jon Laney, and I'm from Palm Harbor, Florida, and I'm a 43-year-old grandfather, and I've been involved with the corruption of Eckerd Community Youth and the Department of Children and Families in Florida since 1994. I came down with my wife and got divorced and got custody of my children. And ever since I've had custody of my two children, there's been problems with Department of Children and Families. They've taken my children away twice. They've put both of my children aged out in foster care. And while one of my daughters was in the care of Department of Children and Families, she was raped. Her collarbone was broken. Both of the caretakers the first time abused them. They were sexually abused by another male. Nothing was done. And my children aged out in foster care. I became a grandfather. I got remarried. And ever since they've tagged me with this in the state of Florida, they look like me, like I'm a criminal and I can do no wrong, and everything I do, I shouldn't be around grandchildren, I shouldn't be around children. They say that I'm evil to them, I'm corrupt in every other way. And it's a tag that's been on me and does not seem to go away no matter what I do. If I bend over backwards for them and hang from a tree, it still doesn't go away. They decide that they look at this piece of paper, they don't look at who the man Jon Laney is. They don't talk to Jon Laney, they look at a piece of paper, Jon Laney, and he is worse than Jeffrey Dahmer or Ted Bundy. And that's the way they look at me. And I do have criminal charges from my past, but they're related to fraudulent use of a credit card or drugs way back in 1993, and has no pertaining to as far as beating children, abusing children, sexually abusing them, nothing. But they make it like I shouldn't even speak to children. And it's very heartbreaking. I mean, I'm married to my wife now, and I had to move out of the house because of the corruption that goes on in the county that we lived in, Pasco County, because the judge there, we decided on December 8th of 2011 to ask for placement and custody of our grandchildren. I am a step-grandfather also. And he made me out, and all he focused on was my criminal record. He accused me of doing cocaine that day. He said that there's no reason and no judge on earth that should give me any kind of rights to children or grandchildren. I shouldn't even be around them. He basically focused the whole hearing on my criminal record. He didn't hear anything that I had done to change my life. He didn't hear the things that I did to change my life. All he focused on what I had done in the past and how wrong I was. So I had to move out so my wife can attempt, because they have taken her son's rights away. They gave him a termination of parental rights hearing, which I testified, and I also told in front of them why I wanted to have my grandchildren around me, how much I love them. He still lost his rights, and they say that the only way that my wife will get the adoption of these children if I were to move out of the house where I absolutely disappeared. And the involvement in my case, when I had an attorney, just before my children aged out, my attorney told me in front of my wife that you should just walk away and leave the case alone, disappear. And this was right before they aged out, because I never stopped fighting. They've had restraining orders against me. They made my mother, who was the caretaker of my children, have restraining orders against me. They made everything possible to try to keep me away. My daughter ran in and out of foster care, and she always tried to find her dad. And the judges would give me visitations at the time, but the workers that she was in foster care would not let me have anything to do. There's false allegations that I didn't even know about until last year when I went to get them myself, that accused me of sexually abusing my daughter and every aspect of everything else made by the Department of Children and Families and the 1-800 number that you can call on abuse. A licensed social worker from a foster care place that she was in made false accusations. The accusations that my daughter spoke to her about were not against me, but the man that raped her while they were in somebody else's care. It's been happened numerous times, and every time I stand up to fight, they turn around and say, well, you're the bad one because you messed up on your criminal record. I'm not the bad guy. I'm not the one. I love my grandchildren. I love children to death. It kills me to no end to be told, because you screwed up, that you're not allowed to be around children. So something needs to be done as far as the governmental issues. Somebody needs to wake up. Somebody needs to change. You need to look into your backgrounds. You cannot sit here and tell me that everybody's not done something wrong in their entire life. We're not perfect people, I understand that. But I am not a criminal. I'm not an evil person. I would do anything in the world for my children or grandchildren. And I've been made out to be like that's something I'm not. Just because they want to judge me, they want to take things away from me. And everybody believes that, and then I'm made to be nothing. It's very hard. Something needs to be done in this world. Congress needs to wake up and do something and care about children. They say that it's the best interest. The best interest is not with the companies. That CPI needs to be wiped out. The law enforcement, when they were given power to do this, before I was divorced, I was almost arrested because I took my 3 children away on a domestic violence situation where my wife threw an ashtray at me, not my present wife, my ex-wife, threw an ashtray at me, and I said, let's go, we're going to go get ice cream. The Kansas City Police Department of Kansas City, Florida, threatened to take me to jail because one of them children was not my biological child. I stuck my hands out and I said, go ahead and arrest me. I would like to see this stick because I removed a child from a domestic situation. I asked him one question. Those 2 are my biological children. If I take them, am I going to go to jail? He said, no. I packed up my stuff and I left. And I never went back, but my life was crazy since then. And the state of Florida has made it worse. I've lived in the state of Ohio. I was born and raised there. It's not as corrupt, but they are corrupt. And the counties that I came in is not evil. The state of Florida makes you look like no matter what you do, you're wrong and you're gone. And you can have a violation of a speeding ticket and you're done with. It doesn't matter. And once that abuse line is called on you, that's the end. And it kills as a father and a grandfather not to be told when you try to do the right thing through the judicial system and you tell them and you don't lie to them about your criminal record and you tell them up front, and they treat you like you're worse than a caged dog. And that's my story.